Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And as you know, you're tuning into this episode, and I've been ranting and raving about it over on TikTok, and I don't know if I've been giving it as much attention over here, but my daughter's birthday is March 8th. So I want to take this time to celebrate my black girl, especially on this International Women's Day during Women's History Month. I want to tell her that I love her so very much. That as she listens to this episode, years to come, she'll remember that mama was always in her corner and mama will always be there for her until I can no longer be here for her physically. But I will be here for her until the end of my time. I love and appreciate the young woman that she has become. I love and appreciate who she is, who she will be, and who she continues to grow into every day. I like to say that I see her as a reflection of myself. But if I can be quite honest with you, the real work as a parent comes when you can see them for who they are. That even when I look at her, I see her. I know her. And to be quite honest with you, if I could be 15, I would want to be her. She is so amazing. And I want to thank all of the people who support me as a black woman during this International Women's History Month, during this International Women's Day, during Women's History Month. And it begs me to read a comment that was left on one of the podcast episodes that's over on YouTube. And the episode was called Speak What You Seek. And so tune into that episode because it is definitely power in your words. And being a black woman, I just want to take time to say shout out to us. We have to work 10 times harder for not as much credit. We have to be 10 times smarter even when it's not acknowledged. We have to speak highly of ourselves even when there's those who don't speak highly of us. We have to be all that we can be for ourselves first because our children will reap the benefit. Even when they are saying, you know what, you're a single mom, and there's so much negativity that they can say about being a black woman. But being a black woman and living the experience of a black woman and living in my excellence and living in my truth and being honest with myself and doing all the things that I need to do lets me know that I am in the right place at the right time. And you are too if you listening to this episode. And that leads me to read this comment. She says, I agree. Word of mouth gets you into places and rooms you may have never thought to step a foot in. I applaud you for sharing your life. People don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Although I've shared my life in a book, I still find it difficult to share my progress of pushing through. I'm an introvert for sure. You inspired me to create a podcast to allow viewers a glimpse of my life as a deaf woman navigating a hearing world that has an autism tunnel vision. Thank you for sharing. I can relate so much you've been through, including the divorce with my late ex husband. He contested everything in court. It's unfortunate how people take their unresolved anger and childhood wounds and blame it on another person. But keep being great, girl. I love listening to you and reading your captions. Can you say tear much? Now, if I can be honest with y'all, just when this year had started, 2025, I was on TikTok. I sat with the person who helps me with content and I said, by the end of the year, I'll have 1,000 followers. January 23rd, I posted a video leaning into my gifts of teaching and gained 32,000 followers. Now, it was over the course of January 23rd to February 28th that I gained those 32,000 followers. And I'm just so pleased that she is one of the ones that I connected with immediately because she does teach sign language. And her name is Professor Camille over on TikTok. And I know that when she hears this, when she listens to this, when she reads this, that she will definitely um can you just say I'm tearing up? I'm trying not to, but I am. Because at the end of the day, this is the power of being a woman. This is why we celebrate womanhood. This is why we celebrate being a black woman, a woman of color, a minority woman. Okay. On this day, I gave birth. Well, not on this day, but March 8th, 2010 at 11:59 p.m. I gave birth to the woman who gave me the title of being a mom. And it is such a place to be, to say, as a black woman, as a black girl, I gave birth to a black girl. As a first daughter, I gave birth to a first daughter who will not experience the woes of being a first daughter. If you know, you know, okay? Leave a comment if you're listening to this on YouTube. If you a first daughter and you know the woes that come with being a first daughter, just know I gave birth to a first daughter and she is not going to have that same or like or even shared experience, because I have created a way for her to have her own experience. I have given birth to one of the most amazing girls I know. And I don't say that because she's my child. I say that because I'm her mama. Like, a little shoulder, a little dust my shoulder off, okay? A little pat on the back for me, claps for me. So I am just so pleased. And I've always said this about my platform. There's no monetization on my platforms when it comes to the podcast. And to be quite honest with you, many people I have taken their advice. So we have an episode dropping March 8th on Patreon. The link to that will be in the description of this episode. It is talking about living through divorce. If you're looking for drama, that is not it. It's definitely an encouraging space. My kids were there while I was recording in the studio, and after the interview, I did ask them, "Hey, how did you all feel?" And my son was like, "It was eye-opening." My daughter said it was empowering. And the empowering part of that is when she said that, I was just like, "Wow, what do you mean?" And she made it known to say, "I know some of what you went through, and to see how you can speak about it from such a healing place." Because what they don't tell you is your first kid goes through everything with you. And she's been through a lot with me. She's been through a lot with me. She has seen me grow. She has seen me be who I said I would be. She has seen that I have maintained integrity. She has seen that when I tell her how to be of good character, not only am I telling her, but I'm showing her through my actions. Because there's one thing to tell a child, there's another thing to show a child. And for her to be even a little bit a glimpse of a reflection of me, I have to reflect on my own actions and be better for myself so that I can be better for her and for them. So if something was said that encouraged you, share this episode with at least one person. I will be looking forward to you all getting on Patreon. If you want to help me celebrate my daughter's birthday, we are asking for monetary donations. So the information for that will be also in the description of this episode. And I thank you all for tuning in and being there and listening and just allowing me the space to be vulnerable. Because to be honest with you, I'm just a black girl with something to say, and something to say freely. Thank you for listening. Remember, you can tune in to Black Girl Say Something every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, there'll be some links in the description of this episode that you can also interact with. Follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, and subscribe on Patreon. To join is free, but if you want access to exclusive content, it is just a small membership. Thank you for listening.